Ciao a tutti ragazzi, bentornati sul canale, ho lasciato la porta aperta. Là, bentornati sul canale. Siamo qui con la parte finale di Horizon Forbidden West e sono molto carico sia perché ho parecchia voglia di giocare, sia perché oggi è uscita la collaborazione con Bri di Bri Productions. Sono usciti due video, ognuno su uno dei rispettivi canali, quindi il nostro Crude e il suo Bri Productions, e vi consiglio di andare a vedere perché sono due video veramente incredibili. Aspettate che voglio sentire. Ma sì, dovrebbe sentirsi tutto. Condivido la live su Twitch. Sì, con AirDrop la condivido. A chi cazzo la mando? A volte mi sembri stupido iPhone. Ok, fissa e notifica. Allora, io non credo che entrerà qualcuno stasera. Credo che probabilmente starò da solo perché eh, la serie di Horizon è andata avanti veramente tantissimo e dai, c'è chi ancora deve giocarselo e il fatto è che probabilmente chi vuole giocarselo non entrerà a guardare me giocarlo, soprattutto sapendo, perché ho avvisato giustamente che sto nelle fasi finali della campagna. Quindi non perdiamo tempo, quella di stasera sarà una live abbastanza lunga, appunto a fare almeno 3 orette. Mi sono consultato con Bri e a detta sua mi dovrebbero mancare circa 5-6 ore. Non riesco a fare 5-6 ore di fila perché altrimenti muoio, però riesco a farne almeno 3, 2,5/3. Cercherò quindi di concentrare le mie forze nel fare solo la main quest. È una cosa che non è per niente nel mio stile, però voglio portarlo a termine per dedicarmi alle live su YouTube, le live classiche, e alla creazione di contenuti. Ah, devo tornare alla base, merda. Allora andiamo ad un falò e voliamo. Che ha sto cazzo di volte? Pazzesco. Probabilmente tra poco mi toglierò la felpa qui perché c'ho già caldo.
This will be over quick with frost ammo.
Il falò è proprio là, dove ci sono questi piccoli bastardi. Vabbè, noi passiamo da sopra, dai. Credo di essere andato troppo vicino al nemico. Ciao bro. Che senso sono tutto sgranato? Come mi vedi? Aspetta un po'. Cazzo, io mi vedo bene. Buono, ma ti pare che dal mio profilo devo vedermi la pubblicità per guardarmi? Cazzo, io mi vedo normale. Bro, io mi vedo normale dall'app di Twitch. E che cazzo però. Ma che la piccola dorme che sei qui? O mi vuoi usare per farla dormire? Coglione. Tu e questi inside jokes tra te e te stesso. Ma tu l'hai finito, l'hai? A che livello eri quando l'hai finito? Sarei stato al 5580.
Good. I'll be roosting on the peaks above the base.
Ma scusatemi un secondo. Allora, cazzo! Io stavo ragionando su questa cosa l'altra volta, però avevo dovuto spegnere. Ma cioè, è possibile che ci abbiano fatto vedere una feature incredibile che praticamente è quasi da endgame? Cioè, ovvero cavalcare le macchine volanti. Ma poi c'era gente che il giorno dopo già cavalcava un solcasole. Su YouTube sono anche peggio, bro. Oh, adesso c'è la resa dei conti.
When you're wounded, you have to strike back. Draw blood.
Hey, can't I get one damn minute to mourn my friend?
Regala is going to slaughter my tribe to overthrow Hikaru. The Zeniths have Beta and Gaia. We can't sit around wallowing in our losses.
Kutalo's right. We must fight.
Oh, all right. So what are we gonna do, huh? Take on all of Regala's rebels?
Sì.
Not to mention the Zeniths. What can we even do? Throw ourselves at their base?
Che carino, bro.
Something like that.
Saluta Marta, eh.
So,
After we lost contact with you, we regrouped and went to Gemini. What happened? The recording we found on Varro's focus cut off when that Zenith Eric...
the Zeniths were tracking Hephaestus. When Gaia trapped it in Gemini, they knew where we were. After Varl tried to stop them. They took Beta and Gaia. I only survived because one of the Zeniths turned against the others to save me.
One of them? Well... at least we didn't lose you too. So what do we do now?
We're going to defeat the Zeniths. And get Beta and Gaia back. But first, we're going to stop Regala.
How?
Back in Gemini, Beta gave me a gift. There's something I need to do first to make it work, but it could put an end to the bloodshed.
Word is, Regala's readying her army for an all-out assault on the Grove. I need to be there.
I know. Go. Stand with Hikaru. And keep an eye on the sky.
Strike true as the 10.
Cotallo a me piace
The
tantissimo.
rest of you, whatever preparations you need to make, upgrades, resupplies, get on it. It won't be long before we take the fight to the Zeniths.
We'll be ready, Aloy.
È la più giovane iscritta al canale,
Outside the East exit.
tecnicamente.
I'd like to have a word in private.
Even when things are darkest, you're the flame that lights the way forward.
Just tell me one thing. Am I gonna get to smash up a bunch of Zenith bastards?
We all are.
Good.
Ah, sai cosa faccio? Cercherò di fare una live.
Before I do anything else, I should check on Zoe. It sounded important.
Che carina. Ti assomiglia un botto. È veramente un sacco uguale a te, bro. È pazzesca sta cosa. Speriamo che non le venga la barba come te, sennò è veramente problematica la faccenda. Comunque, allora, io stasera cercherò di fare una cosa impossibile che non ho mai fatto e non prometto niente, ma proverò a fare una live con linguaggio adatto ai minori. Quindi da adesso in poi
Skin's cracking from the cold.
comunque puoi considerarla una forma di educazione per per tua figlia vedere una persona che gioca a 30 fps.
Over here, Aloy. We would come out here to tend to the garden. Sometimes I needed fresh air. Other times we would simply sit and watch the sunrise. So when we returned from Gemini, it seemed fitting that he be laid to rest here. Now he can always look out at plain song.
Devo ammettere che mi dispiace un botto per Varl, nonostante fosse estremamente telefonata come morte. Mi è dispiaciuto tantissimo. Era quello che mi stava più simpatico tra tutti.
He said she used to gather her favorite golden blooms and tie them to her spear. Their mother called it useless, but Vala was stubborn.
Yeah, she seemed like that.
It wasn't easy. But I tracked down the flower. Gathered its seeds. As verdant limbs wither, roots rot in snow, still the sea rises, as certain as stone. From death follows new life. So it is with the land. And so it is with us. I'm with child, Eva.
Oh!
I was going to tell him when he got back from Gemini.
No, col cazzo che vieni via te, cioè statene qua.
One day, I'll bring our child here. We'll sit among the blooms. And watch the sunrise.
Mi piace un sacco la regia. È fatto proprio bene.
Thank you. For saving my life, sure, but also for not giving up on me.
He always knew.
Goodbye, Varl. I promise to look after them.
Non posso sedermi.
Try to visit again.
Ah, praticamente puoi visitare la tomba.
But for now, I need to go to the fabrication terminal.
Ci ho chiamato il PG di Elden Ring perché è dispiaciuto anche a me. In realtà il fatto che tu abbia chiamato Varl, il personaggio tuo che probabilmente morirà 1 miliardo di volte, per me è che ti stava sul cazzo e lo vuoi vedere morire altre 1000, appunto. Ecco, ho detto una parolaccia. Vedi? Non... È not suitable for children, sta roba. Vabbè, proviamo a riavvolgere il nastro. Mi do altri 2 tentativi. Certo che se sono stato così spinto in una frase normale, figurati in un combattimento dove muoio. La cosa positiva della morte di Varl è che ho un PG in meno con cui perdere un quarto d'ora. Poi non un PG, NPC.
I wanted to check in with you first.
Don't worry about me. I'm just, picking up the pieces like everyone else.
Però questi sono gli ultimi colpi, quindi ogni dialogo è prezioso.
Good. I'm glad you're back.
So am I. Do you think Zoe will be okay?
I don't think anyone's ever okay after losing the one they love. I can't tell you she's handling it better than I ever did. That keeps the rest of us level-headed.
I know you hate waiting, but you'll have to stay back here a little longer.
Well, you go do what you gotta do, but are you okay? It's not just Varl we lost. Beta's gone. I almost lost it when I realized my sister had been taken by Dervahl back in the Sundom.
I'm getting her back. That's all that matters.
Understood.
Che tristezza.
I need to get going.
You better get there before Catalo tries to take on Regala's entire army by himself.
Bro, ma hai mai pensato di farti la barba come Erend?
Think you can manage things here while I go help Akaro?
Stopping Regala's war. It'll help us take the fight to the Zeniths?
Yes.
Then I'll make sure the rest of us are ready upon your return.
Okay. How's Aaron doing?
For a moment there, he thought he'd lost both you and Varl. But he never truly succumbed to despair. Guess that Oseram's stubbornness comes in handy sometimes.
We'll be facing Spectre drones soon. Aaron fought them before, so...
Already asked him to run us through some combat drills. He moves like an oaf, but he's good with that hammer.
Mi aspettavo di combatterne molti di più di Spectre. In realtà soltanto 2 in tutta la trama, tipo. Credevo che avrebbero letteralmente soppiantato i vecchi... Cavolo, come si chiamavano? Mi viene da chiamarli razziatori, ma non credo si chiamassero razziatori. Quelle robe equivalenti agli Spectre, ma fatti da Faro. I robottoni infami. Ero straconvinto che ne avremmo trovati un sacco. E invece se li sono tenuti, secondo me, anche troppo poco, considerato quanto sono fighi da combattere.
You look busy.
My studies are a good distraction, especially after Cult and Gemini. Varl, Beta, Gaia, gone. And that's just the beginning. The Zeniths want to rob us of our future too.
We won't let that happen.
Oh, and if you have a moment, there's something I could use your help with.
Lei è uno dei personaggi più espressivi. Veramente, cioè è pazzesca.
Loss is heavy on everyone's mind. I didn't know him well, but I can see how much he meant to the others. Zoe and Aaron seem to have taken to it the hardest, but I don't quite know what to say to them.
They need time to sort through it.
And what about you? Will time heal your wounds?
I don't know. I try not to think about it. Have you spoken with Zoe at all?
A little bit, but I did hear her singing with Varl not too long ago. I don't think they noticed. Zoe seemed so free when she did it. Like every emotion she had was taking flight in song. And she looked happier because of it. I felt so dull and nervous in comparison.
You should ask Zoe to teach you sometime. About Utaru music.
Maybe.
Seems like everyone's ready to take the fight to the enemy.
Catalo more than most. If I were this Regala, I wouldn't want to cross him on the battlefield.
Regala still has a lot of machines on her side.
That's where you come in.
Qualcosa mi dice che la battaglia contro Regalla sarà piena di botte verso di me. Soprattutto considerando che sto al 30, credo.
I have so much to study up on. Years, actually. I'm particularly interested in the Odyssey. We knew the ancestors had made it to the moon. In fact, we theorized some of them had settled on it. But Sirius is way farther than that. And we thought journeying across the ocean would be the feat of a lifetime. The sheer calculations needed for space travel. It's overwhelming to think about.
Even so, the Quen are way ahead of other tribes when it comes to understanding this stuff. Where I grew up, Everyone thought that stars were sparks that rose from a fire lit by the goddess to guide us through the night.
Risposte troppo semplici a domande troppo complicate.
So, all of the tribes here are new to you?
Yes, I've been studying up on them. The most fascinating one thus far has been the Tanacht, an entire culture based on the holograms of an ancient museum. There's much they've misinterpreted, not unlike the Quen. But still, there's a nobility to what they've become. They're honorable and fearless.
And deadly. Tilda, the Zenith that Beta mentioned, she was the one who rescued me.
Did she say why?
She knew Elizabeth Sobek. Seems to think helping me is honoring her in some way. She was willing to share information on both Silence's plans and the other.
Ecco, io sarei curioso di capire che cavolo di fine ha fatto Silence.
Where I come from, the more valuable the knowledge shared, the higher the price extracted. I'd be careful if I were you, Aloy.
Oh, madonna, mi sono spezzato il collo.
You mentioned there was something you needed help with?
Ora prendiamo sta
Yes.
side quest che però non farò.
As I was sifting through data from the
Non in
greenhouse,
live.
I found references to an old world system back in the Great Delta. It's called Leviathan. My people discovered it decades ago. A sprawling network of river gates and a labyrinth of underground tunnels. The legacy revealed that the old ones used it to control flooding. But we've never gotten it to work. The whole thing is shut down. But the data from the greenhouse mentions the research facility where Leviathan was created. It's in San Francisco.
Another Pharaoh facility?
No. Leviathan was a project by Eileen Sasaki, another ancestor. So the legacy tells us, anyway, if we can acquire that data, we might be able to fix the system back in the Great Delta. Every year, my sister gets terrified when the long rains begin. With Leviathan, maybe she won't have to be.
Okay. So, where in San Francisco is this facility?
That's the thing. The data doesn't say where, exactly. But one of our diviners has been exploring the ruins. He might know. Would you come with me? I have a feeling that wherever this facility is, well, you're much better at fighting machines than I am.
Of course. I'll let you know when I'm in landfall.
Thank you, Aloy.
Beh, sai come adesso dobbiamo tipo andare a salvare l'ultima speranza per l'umanità, ma
Be ready to go on my signal. okay?
possiamo andare a togliere le paure della grande pioggia a tua sorella.
And, like I said, I'll let you know when I'm in landfall. We'll find the data you're after.
I appreciate it.
Ok, appreciate it, ma adesso... Wey. Allora, facciamo rifornimento. Dov'è la scatola di scorte? Con te ci ho appena parlato.
We've never played Machine Strike together. Who says I'm any good at it?
Cotallo è scollato. Qui c'ero già stato.
Focus. It's Varl's. I used to think no Nora would ever accept one. Varl did. Even when he was overwhelmed. He refused to let me push him away.
Poverino. Oh.
I failed Varl at Gemini. I should have pushed harder. I should have done more. I'd give anything to have him back.
Rifacciamo tutto il possibile e immaginabile. E riprendiamo le scorte.
Before I forget, I watered those plants for you. I just know
Override installed. Now to find a Sunwing.
Ho il sentore che questa scena sarà epica. Che cazzo?
Okay, I need to find a Sunwing to override. Better head up the mountain.
Non c'è musica. Datemi un secondo. Voglio questo. Ora ce ne portiamo uno a casa. Non è che hanno una routine strana.
Its wings look like they can catch the sunlight. Probably a fast flyer too.
Porca di quella puttana, oh.
Whoa! Head rush. That must be a Desert Clan village. Maybe I should check in on it after I've dealt with Regala. Tilda, I'm in the air.
Then you'll want to pick up an energy cell on one of the ancient Horus Titans. But first you must send out a pulse.
Ecco come lo fai, quel cazzo di collo lungo.
Software. To deploy it, you'll have to override one of the communication machines referred to as Tallnecks. There's one in the middle of the desert that should do nicely.
On it.
Che spettacolo.
There's a Tallneck. Need to get on top of its head. Now, how to land this thing.
Potrò montarci con la macchina.
Made it. Just got over.
Adesso capisco perché Greg mi aveva detto aspetta la penultima missione a fare le secondarie, perché c'è una roba che ti sblocca. Ecco cos'è.
I've overridden the Tallneck.
Good. And the energy cells are now primed. Simply pick one up on Nell'Ovest. The nearest one should be northwest of your position. Dropping it on Regala's machine should produce quite a spectacle.
Thanks for the assist.
I told you, I want to help.
Whoa! I'm gonna have to get used to that.
Porca troia. Che figata, raga.
Those rebels. Reinforcements, maybe. Heading for the grove. I hope Collins not can hold out any longer.
Io comunque speravo con tutto me stesso di vedere uno di questi cosi accesi.
There's the energy cell. Right on the Titan's back. Got the cell. Now on to the grove. Pulse from the Tallneck should have reactivated all the energy cells in the region. I should be able to pick up more from the Horus I fell to. It'll be useful. Even after I deal with Regala.
Bellissimo.
It's all over, Chaplain.
I gotta drop it now. Here goes.
Fregati.
Is that? It's Aloy.
She flies on the wings of the Ten.
The tide has turned. Push through. End of the line, come. Now on your knees, and I'll give you the death you didn't have the spine to give me.
They're down! The machines! All of them! They're down!
What? How's that possible?
Regala! Enough bloodshed! Let's settle this. You and me.
Easy to say when you're atop a machine.
Well, that was just to get your attention. I don't need any help to take you down.
Fine. I accept your challenge. And once I'm done with you, I'll get to finish the slaughter.
We'll see about that.
The duel is set. Let none interfere.
Devo farla picchiandola e basta.
Now you show strength.
Io volevo un attimo capire a cosa è debole sta stronza. Fuoco e plasma.
So that's how it's gonna be.
That is left of your story.
Porca puttana. Prende gli schiaffi, regala con qualcosa al plasma.
This is where it ends.
Me lo auguro.
Yeah, it is.
Cioè, io mi meraviglio di quegli stronzi che dicono che Eloy è un personaggio che non è carismatico. Oh merda.
If you offered your blood, I'd spit it to the soul. You should face me. That would show.
No, 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 raga. Cazzo, per pochissimo, ho lasciato con 7 HP.
Here I am again, on my knees before bullets and cowards. Go ahead, run me through.
Shut your mouth, traitor.
It was you who flew in on the wings of the 10. You who challenged her by our rights. You must decide her fate. I spared her once. It only made things worse. She was the best of my Martians. What a waste.
She's dangerous, all right. But maybe that's exactly what I need.
Cowards! What more do you have to conspire about?
Whether you live or die.
Averla potrebbe tornarci utile, però potremmo anche ammazzarla. Proviamo a tenerla.
I'm not here to forgive you for your crimes. But there's another battle ahead. Against an enemy more powerful than anything you can imagine. And I need people. A squad. That's willing to do whatever it takes.
I don't want your mercy.
It's not mercy. The battle I'm talking about will be charging into a nightmare.
A better death than this? Yes. My blood is yours. Your enemies are mine.
Meet us at our stronghold, in the mountains near Plainsong.
You mean to send her alone? Without even an armed guard?
She does not need it.
I will be there. You have my word.
I'll hold you to it.
Nonsense, non mi è piaciuta sta cosa.
There's something you both need to see. In the throne room. He surrendered to our guards outside the grove. Claims he has an urgent message for the Outlander who defeated Regala.
So, state it.
It's for her alone. From an interested party.
I'm gonna need some privacy.
Clear the room. Put him with the rest of Regala's soldiers.
I'll see you back at base.
You saved the tribe. Let me help you with your mission.
No. With Regala gone, you have a chance to build the future you dreamed of. So get to your task.
Then at least allow me to give you this. Armor for the battle ahead. May it keep you safe.
Thank you.
Do you have any idea what you've just done?
Oh, it's a pleasure to see you too, Silence.
Congratulations on your victory. You saved the Tenakth for a few weeks. Unfortunately, you've doomed the entire planet as well.
Wrong. I don't need a Tenakth army to defeat the Zeniths.
Oh, Eloy. Have you learned nothing about the enemy we're up against?
More than you, hiding whatever hole you found. My idea is just better than anything you ever came up with.
Go on.
No, not here. We're doing this my way. Face to face, and with the weapon you've developed.
And why would I agree to that?
Because I'm your only way of beating the Zeniths, and getting the copy of Apollo that's on their ship. So meet me at my base. Mountains west of Plainsong. Time to submit to the inevitable silence and follow the person who actually knows what she's doing. Don't be late.
Praticamente queste conversazioni sono, queste olografiche, sono quello che sembra essere stato raggiunto in un esperimento dalla NASA. Una roba simile, però mi sa col supporto dell'Oculus.
Now that I can fly, I might want to see what else I can do before I head back.
Ok, sono al 32, ho ben 11 punti abilità. Cazzo. Merda, ne ho una marea, fa vedere. Ho 13 punti abilità, vediamo che cosa posso combinare. Cacciatrice. Allora, questo è comodo, quella volta che riusciamo a raccogliere qualcosa da terra. Corpo a corpo, no. Vediamo qua. Danni in mischia con salute bassa, danni a distanza con salute bassa ci può tornare utile. E questo assolutamente ci è utilissimo. Gli override non ne uso particolarmente, quindi direi di lasciare perdere, tanto ormai siamo alla fine. Recuperi salute quando usi il colpo silenzioso. Infliggi più danni da impatto a distanza. Questo che cos'è? Basso profilo. Perché mi dice 22 di 29? 1, 2, 3. Forse i punti abilità da spenderci dentro, intende. Vabbè, vediamo corpo a corpo. Questo è tanta roba, non l'avrei mai detto, ma è comodo. Eppure questo, credo che possa tornarci davvero utile nelle fasi finali. Ok, ora dobbiamo tornare. Anzi.
Is that playback device working properly?
Yes. Thank you for helping me fix it.
There are more of these voices popping up on the locator frequency. I'll find them.
I wish I could recover them myself. I am grateful that you can.
My focus is showing.
We can never truly know, but if you find their...
Ah già, è vero, a lei devo dare non i cosi dei droni, ma le scatole nere. Ok, andiamo ad un fottuto falò e andiamo alla base. Perché sì, potremmo volare, ma facciamo che voliamo dopo, tanto palesemente dovremmo volare. Comunque Silence a me non convince proprio un cazzo. Cioè mi dà l'impressione sì di essere una persona che fa di tutto per il sapere, ma mi sembra che metta proprio a repentaglio la vita degli altri, cioè sembra quasi giochi. Chissà se sarà già dentro.
Hey, Mr. Know-It-All is here. You know, your focus buddy who never smiles. I didn't know what to do with him, so I had him wait in your room.
Got it. Thanks. Well, Silence. Looks like you finally found a door you could open without me.
I'm glad it's there, actually. It kept me from having to mingle with the company you keep. But enough prattle. I believe you owe me an explanation. Your plans for the Zenith base.
You're right. I do owe you. My spear in your throat for deceiving me again. At the Hades Proving Lab.
I doubt you asked me here for that kind of reckoning.
No. Right now, I need your help. So I'm giving you one final chance. But if you ever betray me again, I will kill you no matter what the circumstance. Understood?
Very well. Though we'll both face a decidedly short future if you can't get us inside that base.
Aloy, your other guest is here. She's, coming to you.
Thanks. Good timing. The truth is, I can't actually get us into the base. But she can.
The company you keep is even worse than I thought.
Not a fan of surprises, are you? Oh, look. That must be your little invention.
Does the weapon work? Without self-destructing?
Of course it does. I've eliminated the imperfections and greatly improved its design and output.
How can we be sure?
Care for a demonstration?
Enough, both of you. We're in this together, at least for now. Go talk to Erend. Tell him I said to give you rooms of your own. I'll come see you when I get a chance.
Oh, no. You first.
Giusto un filino in competizione, sti due. Non è che siamo...
Better get everyone in the control room, so Tilda can tell us what she knows about the Zenith base.
Non è che ora tra quei due lì sboccia qualcosa.
Okay. Maybe it's time to get everyone together so Tilda can brief us. But is there anything I should handle before that?
No.
All right, people. I need you up in the control room, right away. Okay, everyone. We all know what's at stake. Beta, Gaia. Not to mention life on Earth. Now, it might seem like the Zeniths are invincible, but they're not. We've got what it takes to break into their base and defeat them. We even have one of them on our side. Tilda, show us the base.
It is constructed atop the ruins of an ancient military facility on an island to the southwest. I can get us inside. To this location, undetected.
How exactly?
You'll know when you need to. Once inside, our goal will be this structure. The launch tower. Gaia and Beta are being held at the top. But along the way, we will face overwhelming resistance. Most importantly from Gerard, Eric, and the others. But also...
Once I take away their shields, we should be able to deal with them. But it will be easier to deploy the device if someone else is carrying it. I'll need a strong back.
Carry stuff? Yeah, I can do that.
Even if your device works, there will still be Spectre drones, scores of them.
If only we had an army to fight them.
I've got that under control. You'll know when you need to. All right. We'll meet up again just before we go in. Where's the best place to rendezvous?
On the coast, just across from the island. Once there, I'll show you the way.
Okay. I'll let you know when I arrive at the rendezvous point. And then you can join me. In the meantime, do whatever you need to prepare. Understood? You two? A minute? Tilda helped me get in touch with Beta, and she told me something important. There's an installation inside the base. It's called a regulator. Here. Once we're inside, I need you two to split off from everyone else and destroy it. So you'll have to bring explosives. This will help stop the drones. Everything depends on it. You with me? After that, I want you to find a way to infiltrate the Zenith network.
How?
Go over all the data that Beta left behind. She knew how to do it, I'm sure of that.
All right. But why? What am I trying to do?
Find information about the Zeniths. Anything Tilda's not telling us. Silence is right about one thing. There's no way we can take her on her word.
I'll do my best.
Keep her safe, okay?
On my life.
Tilda c'ha qualcosa che non convince neanche me.
Almost time to go after Beta and Gaia.
Ora parliamo con tutti. E poi iniziamo. Ho altre 2 orette massimo. Se non lo finirò in queste 2 orette, lo finirò la prossima volta.
Hey, look. Aren't we meeting at the beach near the Zenith base?
We are. I just wanted to check in on everyone first. We're finally doing this.
Never thought I'd be off on a mission to take down a bunch of immortals from the stars. I can hear the drinking songs already.
Varl made the right call. You know, bringing you here.
Thanks. Yeah, Varl. You know, I never knew he had a sister. I found out a few days before you guys went to Gemini. I was, well, to be honest, I was terrified I'd screw up the mission somehow. So he sat me down for a drink. Just one. And we talked about family. Vala, Ursa, loss and revenge. How you helped us.
You know, we never did get that drink you promised back in the Embrace. And you never told me exactly how your sister escaped the Mad Sun King.
I guess we never got round to it. World ending and all. No time like the present, though. If you're up for it.
I guess Silence is keeping to himself, as usual.
I was hoping he'd give me an excuse to hammer his sorry ass to the ground.
Please don't.
You telling me you wouldn't want to get just one good hit on that smug face of his? After everything he's done?
Sure. Later. Right now, he's got something we need. Doesn't look like any of our guests are making trouble.
Yet. So, Catalo tells me you flew. Well, that's new. I've been busting my balls trying to learn to read. You're out there having all the fun.
Don't worry. You'll be getting all the fun you can handle soon. With the Zeniths.
Looking forward to it.
If that one's not working right, you can have one of my spare focuses, you know.
Yeah, little bugger's got some personality, that's all. Saved my butt with those Spectres. Wouldn't feel right to leave it behind now. You know, besides, it goes with my outfit.
Wouldn't want to spoil your look. You, talked to Tilda at all?
I tried. I don't think
Un
even
po' di mal di
Forge can
collo.
melt that ice. And you say she wants to help?
I think so. Well, let's hope. You think it's time for us to finally have that drink?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. Oh.
So, how did Ursa escape Mad Sun King Dran's palace?
Well, first she had to survive the Sun Ring. See, during the war, the Carja threw a prisoner a day in there. And, you know, for what? To die as sacrifices, fighting machines in a pit. Thinking somehow that was gonna appease all the other deranged machines in the world? Ha! And when it was Ursa's turn, the Carja thought she'd go down if they threw a big machine at her.
Oh, but she didn't.
And she defeated all of them. Even got some of Duran's kestrels for good measure. And the Mad Sun King was impressed, I guess. Thought it'd be funny to have her run around his palace as a servant. He enjoyed humiliating her that way.
I remember you telling me something about that. That's how she met Avad. He helped her escape.
Yeah, but what no Carja scroll will ever tell you is how the young prince snuck Ursa out of the palace. He knew their best chance was to get Ursa to blend in, so he got her everything she needed to disguise herself as a Carja noblewoman. Yeah, perfumes, veils, and all.
I get the feeling she wasn't too happy with that.
Oh man, Ursa would have rather fought her way out of that palace with her bare hands than put on all of that Carja eye paint. But Avad insisted it was the only way, so she agreed under one condition. Avad had to dress up as well.
She made Avad dress up like a noblewoman?
As perfumed and powdered as a babe. Ursa said he looked better like that than he ever did in a crown.
That would, definitely make for an interesting sight.
Oh, it worked like a charm, too. Not only did they make it out of the palace, they paid a traveling merchant to get Ursa to the border, and none were the wiser.
You were right. That was a story best told over a drink.
All good stories are.
I guess I should get going.
I'll see you at the rendezvous point, with my hammer ready.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Did you need something?
Coglione.
Bravo. You managed to sway a Zenith to your side. Care to explain?
Not a chance. I thought you said the weapon was ready.
There's always room to optimize. But that's not why you're here. I assume you want to comprehend my undertakings. So, ask away.
Since when were you so forthcoming?
Since you turned this into a waiting game. And as it seems you have found modest success, perhaps I'm willing to be generous.
Okay, so your big plan, everything you've been manipulating for the last few months. Let me see if I got this straight. You learned about the Zeniths from Hades when you interrogated it. Then you came up with a plan to defeat them by using a Tenakth army and that weapon. And to get the Tenakth to fight for you, or rather the Sons of Prometheus, armed Regalla's rebels with override tech.
Did you have an actual question, or are you still playing catch-up?
So all this time, even before I found the coordinates at the Spire, you were out here scheming. Why couldn't you just tell me?
When I learned of the Zenith's return to Earth, I laid out my plans. I knew I would one day require an army of overzealous Tenakth to assault the Zenith base. The casualties would be extreme. And I knew you would never allow such a sacrifice, no matter how necessary. Thus, I devised a means to remove your interference from the equation at the Hades Proving Lab.
Why create the Sons of Prometheus? You didn't need a bunch of Oseram tinkerers to make override tech.
They were a necessary safeguard. My time serving Hades in the Eclipse demonstrated the risks of getting directly involved. Through the Sons of Prometheus, I could execute my plans, all while remaining anonymous.
You wanted me to surrender to the Zeniths at the Hades Proving Lab. They almost killed me.
Based on everything I knew about them, I concluded they would find you a useful asset, thereby keeping you out of harm's way and, more importantly, out of my way.
So you really didn't know they had their own clone of Elizabeth?
No. Unfortunately, there was no way I could have known that particular detail.
Detail? Well, I guess if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here today.
Ma spiegavano nel primo perché cazzo è ricoperto così da cavi? Io non me lo ricordo assolutamente.
Tell me about the weapon. How does it work?
I've upgraded the delivery system. It now emits a wave-like effect covering a significant distance.
That doesn't fully answer my question.
No, but I'd be a fool to reveal its inner workings. After all, why did you withhold your plan for dealing with the Zenith drones? Yes, even you can appreciate the value of secrecy when warranted. Suffice it to say that the weapon will work. The intricacies of how is knowledge that is mine alone.
Why help Regala take over? If you wanted an army, you could have just gone to Hikaru.
Before Regala's rebellion, Hikaru was only concerned with battling machines and fostering friendships with the Karja. Even if I gained his ear, he would never agree to send his forces to battle a threat he couldn't understand.
So helping a bloodthirsty exile was easier?
Yes, exceedingly so. All Regala craved was war against the Karja and anyone who threatens the Tenakth. She would have led the tribe into battle without question, which was precisely what I needed.
While I was out there, I had a couple run-ins with the Quen.
The tribe from across the ocean. And?
Their entire tribe was shaped around the Discovery focuses. One of them, Alva, even joined me here. Don't you want to know more about them?
No. They stumbled upon the greatest technological artifact from the ancient world, and what did they do with it? They shrouded the knowledge they unearthed in mysticism and taboo, creating a pantheon out of corporate shills.
Yes, well, it also led them to Thebes.
Did it now?
So those run-ins with the Quen I mentioned. On one of them I teamed up with their expedition to search Thebes. We found Pharaoh at the end.
You must have needed Omega clearance. So, what was it like?
Worse than you can imagine.
He single-handedly wiped out collective human knowledge. I'm sure it was still less than he deserved.
Let me guess. You would have scraped him into a jar so you could prod his brain, like what you did with Hades.
For a start.
Alright, Silence. I think I've talked to you long enough. I'll let you know when it's time to go. And try not to mess with Tilda while you're in here, okay? I don't need the two of you butting heads.
Ah, yes. About your Zenith ally. I wonder if you understand what kind of person you're dealing with. For someone to live as long as she has, outlast as many calamities, well, your goals may be aligned now, but I'd watch for the moment they diverge.
Yeah, I'm aware. Reminds me of someone else I know.
Survival is only a necessity to my greater purpose, Aloy. I'd hoped you'd recognize that by now.
Do you know something or not?
Oh, I know a great deal of things. But on this, just call it a feeling.
Oh, a feeling? You mean you finally had one? Huh. Guess even you can change, Silence.
Allora, devo ammettere che inizialmente sono stato così ingenuo da quasi credere completamente a tutto quello che ha detto Tilda, però effettivamente non può non avere un secondo fine.
You nervous?
I'd be lying if I said I'm not slightly apprehensive.
The plan will work if we all focus on our assignments.
Right.
La variabile qui sono delle macchine assassine e dei tizi immortali. Cosa tutti i
I
giorni?
was wondering, is it really safe having someone like Regala here? She seems angry. The kind of angry that leads to murdering people in their sleep.
Don't worry. We're going to point that anger in the right direction. The Zeniths.
If you say so.
I hope our new guests have been behaving.
This Silence, he's the one who built the weapon that can take down Zenith shields?
He is. Though I wouldn't expect him to answer any questions about it. He refuses to dole out his secrets to us lesser mortals.
Oh.
You know that special part of us that makes us warm, kind, welcoming?
Our spirit?
Yeah. He was born without that. I want you to know I'm glad you're with us, Alva.
Whatever happens, I'm grateful that the legacy brought us together. I never thought I'd get to actually meet an ancestor.
Come on, do I look that old?
Beh, ne hai incontrati un po' perché hai visto anche gli Zenith.
Katala will protect you inside the Zenith base.
I'm not afraid. I know Katala will fulfill his duty, as will I. If we die doing so, at least it'll be alongside a friend.
I'd rather you both stay alive, if you don't mind.
We'll try and keep that in mind.
Once all this is over, will you go back across the ocean?
I don't know. The more I think about it, the more worried I become. If I go back, I don't even know if they'd let me keep this focus you gave me, or what they'd do to me for reading what is clearly forbidden data. Even if I somehow were allowed to carry on my duties as a diviner, would I be willing to let the truths I've learned about the ancestors be buried away by the Board of Overseers? Would I dare challenge them and risk my family's safety? Or losing Federa?
Who's this Federa you mentioned?
She is another diviner. One of our best. We used to be rivals at the academy. I hated her guts. But apparently there's a fine line between hate and love. We became very close, and then I was assigned to the expedition. She promised she'd wait for me, no matter how long it took.
Well, that was smart of her. She won't do any better.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I do. I suppose you saw that Tilda is here. Our very own Zenith.
I almost went up to her to ask her, well, every question I've ever had about the legacy. Every diviner I know would kill to get 5 minutes with one of the old ones. But now that she's here, all I feel is a vague unease. I don't know if I'm scared of finding out more uncomfortable truths, or just scared of her. Probably both.
Beh.
The rest of us should be enough of a distraction to the Zeniths for you to hack into their network undetected. But you'll have to be quick, in case they do.
What exactly do you expect me to find, Aloy?
I don't know. The truth, if we're lucky. What was Leviathan again?
A flood control system back in the Great Delta. It was built by Eileen Sasaki. Another of... If we can acquire the data on it, we might be able to fix the system back then. My sis won't have to live in...
Right. I need to get going.
I'll be at the rendezvous point. May truth lead us to victory.
And I haven't forgotten about the data on Leviathan. I'll let you know when I make it back to landfall.
Thank you, Aloy.
Aloy, we're ready to meet you at the rendezvous point whenever you call.
Fighting the Zeniths isn't going to be easy.
Nothing you do ever is. At least, now you don't have to do it alone.
Thanks. Have you talked to any of our new friends?
Erend and I tried speaking to Silence, but apparently our tribal prattle is unnecessary.
Charming, isn't he? You and Erend seem to be on better terms now.
He may have terrible taste in music, but he did apologize for mocking my tribe. And that ale he keeps raving about isn't half bad. I still plan on beating that stubborn face of his to break our sparring stalemate.
Try not to hurt him too bad. Everyone here, training, working together. If it weren't for Varl, none of it would have happened.
You know, there was this one night, right before Varl left with you to go to Gemini. He realized I was having trouble sleeping. I was nervous about the mission. To be honest, I think we both were. So, he asked me to join him in Gaia's dome. He brought up this hologram of Earth that you two found back in the Zenith launch facility. We sat there, just looking at it. I thought about how Plainsong was just a speck on that great sphere. How every corner of it must be teeming with life. And any fears I had about our mission were gone. I miss him terribly.
I know. Ready to head over to the Zenith base?
Whatever comes, we will endure.
Thoughts on our new Zenith acquaintance?
I'd say she smells like death, but even death smells of something. She's more like a cold piece of metal, bent on repelling all semblance of life.
She's definitely different. I should go. I'll let you know when I'm ready to head to the base.
Before you do, there is one favor I would ask of you.
What is it?
You placed this focus in my care, and gave me the highest calling an Utaru has ever known. If I should fall in battle, I'd like you to be the one to bury my seed pouch. For the both of us.
So,
make sure you stay alive.
Ora ho chiesto in diretta a Bri se vale la pena andare alla base Zenith o se conviene che lo faccio tutto di fila. In settimana allora me lo guardo. Ora vediamo se Bri risponde. Se non risponde, buonanotte, cioè andiamo via. Ce ne andiamo via, appunto. Dov'è quel... C'è lui qui. Ah, di qua, di qua. Catalo.
Haven't seen you since the battle at the Grove. How are you holding up?
I saw you fly on the wings of the Ten, and paralyze Regala's army with lightning. I would say that I am inspired.
Thank you, I guess.
It is I who should be thanking you. All that remains is to follow you to the end, whatever that will be.
We're lucky to have you on our side.
Oh, and by the way, I was hoping we could finally discuss this new arm of mine, if you have the time.
Look, I know you're probably not happy about keeping Regala around, but I want her on our side when we fight the Zeniths.
It is more than she deserves. Even so, I will not question your judgment.
Thank you, Catalo.
Allora, il buon Bri ha detto: ascolta tutti i dialoghi adesso e la prossima volta lo finisci. Anche perché immagino che solo di dialoghi ci mancano 20 minuti. Non voglio tuffarmi in una missione che poi devo troncare a metà. Quindi realisticamente finiamo tutti i dialoghi, poi stacco e riprendo la prossima volta. Credo giovedì, non lo so, un giorno a caso.
Her mind is sharp, that much is certain. But it's hard to imagine her surviving in the wilds.
Trust me, she's tougher than she looks.
I will take your word for it.
You nervous about the mission ahead?
If I live, it will be in victory. If I die, it will be in battle. What matters most is that you achieve your objective.
I'll do my best. We didn't really get to talk about what happened at Gemini.
There was nothing more to say. If he were to Noct, Varl's bravery would have earned him sacred burial at the Grove, among the most distinguished of our tribe's warriors. His deeds were worthy of the Ten. When the fight is done, I will have the Inkers etch his memory on my skin, so that it may live on.
I'm sure he'd be honored. Things will get ugly once the Zeniths realize we're in their base. You'll need every trick you've ever learned.
I would have it no other way. Many soldiers died in the old world to make sure we stood here today. We will endure on their behalf. Though, I am curious how you intend to defeat the Zenith's defenses without an army of our own.
Leave that to me. Just make sure you're ready to fight.
As you say. You have more than earned my trust.
A bit.
How are your studies going?
I wanted to learn more about the world of the Old Ones.
And?
I looked up this pharaoh Gaia said you went looking for, and learned about the plague of machines he unleashed. To think that the ancient world was wiped out by a mistake. A single miscalculation. There is no glory or honor in such a fate. Only hubris and pointless death.
That about sums it up. Think you're ready to put all your training to the test?
I am to Noct. I am always ready.
Now that training time is over, what's on your mind?
The Bulwark, the Crude, and how we need another miracle if we're to survive the Zenith base.
I'll try not to let you down.
I know you will not.
Did you meet Tilda?
There is something about her that doesn't seem natural. I wouldn't be surprised if my sword went through her and she didn't bleed at all.
Honestly, with her, nothing would surprise me. Your people keep mentioning the wings of the Ten. What exactly does it mean?
The visions tell us that the Ten flew on great metal machines with wings and leapt into battle from the sky. For us, to imitate this feat is the ultimate expression of martial prowess. It is why the challengers leap into the arena during the Crude. And now, you have done it. Like the deeds of the Ten themselves, it will never be forgotten. So, tell me, how did it feel?
I won't lie. Pretty good.
I can only imagine.
I'll see you soon then.
It will be my honor.
There you are. Well done, Aloy. Despite my reservations, you managed to secure Silence and his weapon. You're truly a shining example of Liz's fortitude.
I've been thinking about what you said at your house. How you were friends with Elizabeth. It was more than that, wasn't it?
Perceptive as ever. You're right, we were together for a time.
Okay, so... what happened?
I was an orphan. I had always been alone. By my 30s, I was starting to wonder if that was simply my fate in life. And then I met Liz. kept running into each other at conferences. We'd have coffee. At some point, it became drinks. I thought it was just shop talk, an exchange of ideas, but then I was surprised at how much I looked forward to seeing her. Soon we were flying halfway across the world every other week just to meet up. For the first time, I didn't feel lonely. I could imagine a future where I wasn't. I think Liz felt the same way at first. She had lost her mother a few years back. I filled a void for her. I know I did. But as time passed, it seemed as though she wanted less, and I wanted more. And so we ended things.
So helping me, restoring Elizabeth's dream, it's what,
a second chance, yes. I made a mistake leaving Earth while Liz stayed behind. I should have done more. So when I saw you, a woman who has carved her own remarkable path, beyond even what made Liz a phenomenon, I knew I had to help you. To do right by her.
You said before that you're not like the other Zeniths. That you never were. But you went along with all of their plans.
Out of necessity. I'm not proud of it. But complicity became a means of survival, both when Earth was consumed and when the colony on Sirius was destroyed. I did what I had to. But I resolved to remain one step ahead of the others, to try to undo what damage I could. Hence the data channel with Beta. The secret passage into their base and the little trick I pulled to save you.
Why did you make the data channel look like your house?
I built that house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place, not just for me, but for the art stored in its depths. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly, some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her.
E se le fosse venuto in mente di...
I'll never regret sharing this house with her.
No, dai, mi sembra un po' troppo spinto, cioè... Più che altro per il tipo di opera che è. Però non posso fare a meno di notare che lei stia cercando di creare un legame con le persone che hanno la faccia e il corpo di Elizabeth.
Why do you think Elizabeth pulled away?
I've wondered that for 1,000 years. She was brilliant, visionary. She cared so deeply for the world, for the betterment of humanity. But it also felt like she kept everyone at arm's length, including me. She never wanted to share her burdens. I think, in the end, she had a core that she never let anyone be part of. Sometimes I wonder if anyone really knew her.
I found a recording of you and Elizabeth back in the proving lab after Farzineth's attempt to steal Gaia.
Yes. A most unpleasant conversation.
She said something after the call. I think she regretted how things ended between you.
Did she? All this time, thank you for telling me. I've always hated that those were the last words we ever said to each other. And that her last impression of me was as a functionary of Far Zenith, not who I truly am.
What else can we expect to find in the Zenith base?
As I mentioned in the briefing, our goal will be the command center. That's where Beta and Gaia are being held. There are also printing facilities where the others have been amassing the natural resources they've stripped from the region.
What for?
First for use in the base's infrastructure, and then to fabricate more Spectre drones, a small army of them. In addition, they've also been ferrying materials to and from our ship in orbit. After hundreds of years, Luxuriating in our digital comforts, the ship was barely space-worthy when we made our escape. Disaster can strike at any moment. We've learned our lesson.
Have you figured out how Silence's weapon works?
No, and he's been very careful not to allow me near it. I'll admit it bothers me, but regardless of how it functions, I am confident it will deactivate the other shields en masse.
How many of them are in the base?
10, including Eric and Gerard. Only a handful of us made it to our ship when our colony collapsed.
So, Eric... was he always a bloodthirsty psychopath?
I believe he got worse over time. On Earth, he was the founder of a profitable private military company. A band of cutthroats, in other words. Even as governments abandoned human combatants in favor of automated warfare. He found success with clientele that required a more personal touch. There were also rumors that he personally hunted and killed his targets. On occasion, all for the thrill of it. But on Sirius, he retreated to virtual reality simulations. In them, he could go on rampages as violent as he pleased, though I suspect with diminishing satisfaction.
All of his tribe believes he was one of the greatest people from the old world.
Then they would be quite disappointed to meet him, though I'm sure he'd bask in the adoration.
What can you tell me about Gerard?
He was the head of the world's largest financial conglomerate, and as such had dealings with almost every major corporation. It made him one of the wealthiest people on Earth, and certainly the wealthiest among Far Zenith.
What does one person do with that much money?
Buy more power, more influence. Gerard's always believed himself to be a refined patrician, able to maintain control with a polished smile. But beneath that exterior is a cold and calculating operator. It was his decision to restrict Beta's upbringing to her digital educators, the avatars of the Apollo database, while we were painted as her benefactors.
Well, we'll deal with him soon enough. Like the others.
I would very much like to see his face when he realizes we've beaten him.
When I was in the ruins of Vegas, I found data on a man named Stanley Chen. I think he was a Zenith.
Stanley, ever the optimist. He was one of the good ones. When we established our colony, he built an exact replica of Las Vegas in virtual reality. Lights, shows, gambling, every detail perfectly recreated. And while others cloistered themselves in their own fantasies, he flung his doors wide to everyone.
The way you're talking about him, I'm guessing he didn't make it back to Earth?
No, he perished when our colony was destroyed. He would have been thrilled to discover that part of his beloved city survived.
Peccato, sarebbe stato bello vederlo tornare.
When Beta escaped and hid in an ancient research facility, I saw another one of the Zeniths, Verbena. Who was she?
A dull star amidst a sea of brighter constellations. Unlike most of Far Zenith's members who amassed their wealth through shrewd business deals and technological achievements, Verbena inherited her billions. Her father had achieved great success in the luxury holotourism industry. At age 24, she became
Sta roba mi
the most
sembra
eligible
tipo il
bachelorette,
metaverso realizzato.
granting herself a life designer. Someone who leverages their fame to influence the choice of others.
No, un influencer.
Like a cult?
In a way, yes.
Well, she must have done something right to have survived this long.
She was her own brand of ruthless. That much is true. But even rats can cling to a vessel for escape.
Okay, so I've had run-ins with a handful of Zeniths. What about the rest?
An array of the wealthiest people on Earth. Titans of their industries.
And let me guess. All selfish and ruthless to the core?
Most, but not all. There were a few with whom I got along. Annika Murjani, for instance, was always delightful. She founded the Holonet's most successful dance channel and was herself mesmerizing to watch. And I had fascinating discussions with Song Jiao about her work in cellular biology. Our immortality treatments are due in part to her achievements. But then there were others like Devin Miller, the CEO of a fast food printing corporation. His only real preoccupations were perfecting his golf swing and taking self-hollows. When I think about all of us, we really should have accomplished more. We had eternity.
Okay. I'll let you know when it's time.
I'll be here until then. And thank you, Aloy, for giving me this chance. My past has always been a struggle. More than once I've lost everything. But when I look to the future, I see Liz's dream fulfilled. A universe of new possibilities.
Maybe we can make it happen.
We will. I won't let anything get in the way. I promise you that.
E se avesse da qualche parte una sorta di copia di Elizabeth e volesse portarla in vita usando il mio DNA o quello di Beta? Per riavere la sua compagna? Parla con i tuoi compagni. Ho parlato con tutti.
So, you return.
Sì, ho parlato con tutti. Ok, sì. Allora ce ne usciamo. Dobbiamo arrivare qui. Noi ci spostiamo al falò più vicino che è qua. E poi stacchiamo. Qui, dove i colossi.
Hot. I'm sweating everywhere.
Ok, avviciniamoci un pochino e poi lo riprendiamo in mano nei prossimi giorni. Sicuramente di nuovo in settimana. Devo ammettere che è abbastanza comodo avere sto affare. Avrei voluto averlo tipo da 10 ore. Cioè ti dà un senso di libertà pazzesco. C'è un falò per qui. Sì. Mamma mia che bello. là. Perfetto, allora noi ci rivediamo credo giovedì, comunque in settimana sicuramente, per finirlo. Non so quanto sarà lunga la live, però è proprio l'ultima missione, quindi ce la facciamo tutta di fila. Grazie per avermi seguito, ci vediamo alla prossima. Vi ricordo di guardare i video usciti sul canale di Bri Productions e sul nostro. E buonanotte a tutti, un saluto dai Crude.